In this video, I'm going to show you how to adjust, rebuild, and replace a fill valve found in typical toilets. Typically, in a toilet, you're going to see a Fluid Master brand fill valve. Now, there's different brands and different styles, but overall, it's really common sense because the differences aren't that much. But this is the preferred one and the most common that you'll see. The reason why it's preferred is the adjustability is very simple. It's easy and cheap to repair. This is the way to go. Now, you can't get this model. This is a Pro 45. Only plumbers can buy this model. But there's different brands that you can get through us if you give us a call. All of our details are below in the description. Now, before you start, you always need to turn the valve clockwise and shut the water off to the toilet. To check and make sure that that worked, like always, flush the toilet, hold the handle down, make sure that the toilet does not refill. If that worked properly, by hand, not using tools, loosen the flex line. Now, if you can't get it off by hand, you can use a tool to remove it, just never use one when you're tightening it back. Now, we've got that out of the way. Channel locks. You want to take the channel locks and get it on this nut that's holding the fill valve to the tank. Get it on that nut. We're going to kind of give it a couple turns. It's got a rubber gasket in there, it keeps it real snug. Once we get to a certain point, we can do the rest by hand. You wouldn't believe it, but we're already halfway done. Now, before you go any farther, you want to prep the new fill valve. It comes with a few parts. One is the fill valve. Now, to adjust it, there's two different ways. If you need to adjust it just a little, you can turn this knob with a screwdriver or by hand, and that will raise and lower your water level. Now, if you want to adjust it substantially, you can always pull up on this plastic clip, and that will allow you to raise and lower the whole valve, and then you can clamp it back. Next is the hose. The hose goes on this little port, and this is what fills the bowl of the toilet. And then you have your fill clip. It's the part that clips inside the toilet and then sprays everything in the right place. You just shove it in there, no tools needed. Now, you're going to get this gasket. And you're going to be wondering where it goes. Well, they made it in one piece to save money and pass those savings on to you, but really this is two gaskets. The part in the middle, you want to push. You can use a knife, but I prefer not to chop my fingers off. And you have this small gasket. If you have a flex line, you don't need this. This is for like 50s models houses. If you need this, don't do the job yourself. Call a licensed professional. Now this, the big flat part, shoves on here with the bevel down. And the bevel down so that way it can push into the tank. And then you have the new nut. Let's get this old junk one out of the way. The new one's got wings on it. And that's because they do not want you to use tools. It gives you a little more leverage so you can use your fingers. If you don't over tighten it with the tool, less likely it's going to break and flood your house. Now, the reason why I got this one ready is when you pull out the old fill valve, even though the water's off to the toilet, there's still some water in the tank. Now that the fill valve is ready to remove, you just pull it out and shove the new one in place. As simple as that. Now, you can take off this old cap that held the old hose. We've got the new style with a clip. Clip it onto the tube where the water is going to spray inside the pipe. Be careful of your hose. You don't want to get tangled up in anything else. Turn it in a direction or cut the hose to fit. Now that we've got the new fill valve in place, take the new nut with the wings, tighten it up, and then do the rest by hand. Like I said, do not use tools on this part. It is not recommended by the manufacturer, and can cause breakage and flooding your house. When you got that snug up real good, take the flex line, tighten it back up by hand. And when that is on there really good, now that you've tightened this fill valve and the flex line, you check everything for leaks. Turn the water on very slowly. The toilet's going to start filling. Now, when it does, you carefully look for leaks very quickly. If you did everything right, there shouldn't be a problem. The only thing that you're going to have left from here is you might have to adjust the water level. But remember, that's where I showed you at the beginning. You can rewind to it where I adjusted the gray clip. Never do that with the water off. Don't say, I need to adjust the water level and do it right now while the water's on. You'll flood your house. Turn the water off and adjust the level, then turn it back on the test if you need to do so. Or you can use the screw on top that I had shown you. Once you got that settled, it's fixed. You replaced your fill valve. When you can, try to leave these things to licensed professionals, but if you think you can handle the task, this is how I would do it. As always, you can look us up at precision-plumbing.com or call us with any questions at 469-248-2136.